The income that he's giving you, that's not the income. That's not. He have showed me check stubs where he make $6,500 a week. He take load $1,200 a day, $600 a day.
Your Honor, my understanding is there's an agreement to the no geographic restriction, and the understanding that Miss Benson is designated as a conservator with the exclusive right to designate primary residence. My understanding is there is an agreement to continue the government health plan, and for cash medical of $25 a month. Also, an agreement regarding Mr. Buoy having one other child that he's obligated to pay support for, and that there's no non-disclosure. And as far as I understand, an agreement to continue the standard possession and access order.
And so the issues they don't agree on, just so everyone knows what they're here for.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you state what the order, the issues they don't agree on?
So, Your Honor, I believe Ms. Benson is asking to be named managing conservator. The temporary order had them as joint managing conservators. And there's new information to be provided today by testimony from Mr. Buoy regarding his income.
Okay.
Also, the retroactive support was reserved, and also court costs was reserved for final.
Okay, so the issues are really conservatorship, current child support, and back child support and court costs.
Correct, and we're asking for a judgment on the arrears as well.
Okay, and that's not agreed to?
I believe we have an agreement as to the arrears amount. Okay. Yes, or an understanding of what that is.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Miss Benson. Miss Benson, please state your full name.
Notorious Ayana Benson.
Can you state your daughter's name and date of birth?
Onyx Buoy, 10/14/23.
And how old is she now?
She's 1.
And Onyx lives with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Who makes the day-to-day decisions for Onyx?
I do.
Does Mr. Buoy participate in any of those day-to-day decisions?
No, ma'am.
And has he been given the opportunity to participate in those day-to-day decisions?
Yes, ma'am.
And he's just not choosing to
Ma'am.
participate? And you currently reside in Chambers County?
Yes, ma'am.
And has Mr. Buoy exercised any visits?
No, ma'am. Only for her birthday party. And since then, he hasn't seen her. And that was in October last year.
And has he been given opportunities to visit?
Yes, ma'am.
And why do you feel that the joint managing conservator order from the temporary order is not working?
Because he's not active. He's not active in her life. He haven't been reaching out. He haven't tried to come see her. He hasn't been doing anything for her. So I've been making decisions on my own all this time. So I would just ask him to continue to do it on my own because he's not there.
And is Onyx, she's still on the government health plan?
Like Medicaid?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the temporary order, we're asking the court to finalize the temporary order regarding the government health plan and the cash medical for $25 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that we're asking the court to finalize the non-disclosure, finding that there is no safety concerns?
Yes, ma'am.
And also the standard possession and access order?
What's that?
In the temporary order, there's a standard possession and access order, and it includes holidays, spring break, summer vacation. and it's based on where Mr. Buoy lives.
That's fine, but I would like a wellness check.
What do you mean by that?
Where they come out and look at the living arrangements to see if it's up to standard for her to be there.
This is not CPS. I believe police do wellness checks if you're concerned with someone's safety. But this isn't something, no one has pled for this, and it's not inherent in any of the AG's cases that happened. But feel free, Ms. Damani, if that affects the SPO, you might need to ask further questions about it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Benson, why do you feel that you need a safety check?
Because his house is not up to living in. Like it's not clean there. It's not clean. And
have you been to Mr. Buoy's home?
yes, I have. It's mold in there, roaches.
When did you
not
last
clean.
visit his home, ma'am?
Last year, no, not 2024, 2023. Probably February was the last time I've been there. No, probably after that, but it was in 2023. I can't remember exactly when.
Per the temporary order, Mr. Buoy lives out of state. That's where you're referring to. You've been out of state to his home?
Yes, Mississippi.
But you haven't seen his home since 2023?
No.
And your daughter has not visited him out of state?
No, ma'am.
Is there any other reasons why you feel a safety check is needed?
And also he had somebody breaking his house one time and stuff like that. So
when was that?
When did they break in his house?
Or how, like, was it recent? Was it like 10 years ago? Was it a year ago?
Well, I ain't really just talked to Jirell on a social level like that since like 2023 on a social level. So that's when he was telling me out there back in 2023.
May I continue, Your Honor?
You may continue.
Thank you. Ms. Benson, did Mr. Buoy provide financial support for Onyx after she was born?
He did some things after she was born, like bought diapers and they bought medicine. And that was only up until she was born in October. Around December, we lost communication. We wasn't talking no more. Then, so he's been inactive since December 2023. Then he came back around after we went to court last year in August or September. So he did for her September, October, November, and then December 2024, he hadn't did anything for her up until now. No contact in no type of forms or fashion or nothing until now we on the phone for this court. But before then, it was nothing.
Ms. Damani, can you clarify the months and dates? That was a little hard to follow.
Ma'am.
When people give long answers with a lot of information, it's very hard for me to follow, which is why it's real important questions are like narrow so that the answers are more narrow and then I could follow it a little clearer. Because when it's a lot, I try to take notes because I can't remember all this. This is a lot.
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
So, Ms. Damani, if you can clarify that, the dates.
So Miss Benson, your daughter was born in October 23, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so for October, November, December 23, did he provide financial support?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you could give him credit for what he provided during that time, how much would you give him for 23?
Were you all living together then?
No, we never lived together.
Okay.
I would say maybe $200, maybe $300 within that time frame.
223?
Like 200, 300. You could just say $300, somewhere like that. It wasn't much.
What about say the first 6 months of 24? Was he providing support during 2024?
No, ma'am, we had no contact.
No contact for the entire year of 2024?
No contact until the end of August or the beginning of September 2024. And that was because we came on for court and he reached out to me after court.
And so the obligation began December. So for September, October, November, did he provide support?
Yes, ma'am.
Time?
Yes, ma'am. He did the small things.
And if you could put a dollar amount on what he provided, how much would you say?
Let's see. He did help me on her birthday party, so I forgot about that. So I would say he did between that time maybe $600.
So 600 for 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
And you stated earlier that for 25, I'm sorry, but that's the, I withdraw that question. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
State calls Mr. Charles Buoy. Mr. Buoy, please state your full name.
Jirell, Buoy.
And Mr. Buoy, are you currently working?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Buoy, first, are you in agreement to the temporary order or asking the court to finalize the temporary order in regards to you guys being appointed joint managing conservators and for the standard possession and access order?
For the joint, like it was?
Yes, in the temporary
Yes.
order.
Yes.
And for the standard possession and access order?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that temporary order has Ms. Benson as having the right to designate the primary residence of the child and that there's no geographic restriction?
Know what you mean?
You understand that's what's in the temporary order?
Yeah, about how reside in there and stuff. Yes, I know.
And you're in agreement to continue the government health plan and you paying a cash medical of $25 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand there's an arrears balance on this case for child support in the amount of $1,548.41.
Can you say that
Yes,
slower?
ma'am.
I'm sorry. What was that? 1,000?
$1,548.41 as of
when?
March 5th of 2025.
Yes.
And you also understand there's a balance of $100.13 for medical arrears as of March 5th of 2025.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to offer into evidence the State Exhibit A, the financial activity report in the case.
Does anyone have any objection to me admitting the pay record into evidence?
No.
It's submitted as State's Exhibit 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Mr. Buoy, where do you work?
Oh, Blair.
And what do you do for that company?
Drive trucks.
And how do you get paid?
Weekly.
And do you get a salary? Are you paid commission? Are you paid hourly? How are you paid?
Percentage of loads.
Sorry, what do you do again, sir?
Drive trucks. I get paid a percentage of
Oh,
the load.
loads. I thought you said loans. Okay.
Load. Yeah. Loads.
Okay, that's why I was confused.
And do you Do you get paid by checks, or are you a contract employee? How are you paid?
Direct deposit.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Direct deposit.
Direct deposit. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you know how much you made in 2024?
Can we go back to the question? I don't know that answered her question though. Are you like a W-2 employee? Or you
1099.
get a 1099?
1099.
You're a 1099 employee?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can proceed, Ms. Bonnie.
Thank you, Your Honor. How much did you get paid in 2024?
2024 exact number was 34,886.95.
And that's based on a 1099?
Yes.
And do you have any other income?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand when I calculate divide that by 12, I'm getting a gross of $2,907.25?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it correct that you have one other child?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're obligated to pay child support for that child?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you also obligated to pay medical for that child?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that I'm getting a child support amount of $434?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in agreement to that amount?
Yes, ma'am. Plus the 25, right?
And
help.
25 for cash medical.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
How old is your other child, Mr.
He's
Buoy?
10.
And so for 2024, you were obligated to pay support for him in 2024?
Yes,
And
I've been paying since 2017.
Thank you, sir. And for the year 2023, do you have a 1099 for that year?
Yes, ma'am. 1023, I actually had two. Earlier part of the year, I was driving for Harley Trucking that I had sent over to you. And that 1099 was 34896.43. That was for Harley Trucking. And toward the end of the year, beginning of end of November, beginning of December, that's when I started at Blair. And the 1099 for that was 4,680.47.
Okay, I'll go ahead and calculate that. Do you understand I'm getting a gross monthly for the year 2023 in the amount of $3,298?
Yes, ma'am.
And after your daughter was born, did you provide any financial support in the
Yes.
year 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard Ms. Benson's testimony that she would be willing to give you credit for $300 for 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your testimony regarding how much you provided in 2023?
2023 was probably around that area. I would agree with that.
And what about 2024 up to October? I'm sorry, November.
Up to November. Maybe around same, about 6 or 7, somewhere along in there. I said a little more. Like I said, I have the exact amount from, I have it documented that I would just have to go look at the exact amount, but exactly.
So you would be in agreement that credit should be around $900 total?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Buoy, in regards to visitation, have you tried to visit with your daughter?
The thing is, after the last court date, the next couple of days was great. It was on one accord, and then it was time for her tablet bill to get paid. So she reached out. I said, "Well, child support start this month. I said, just take it out the child support. She told me that she was going to get her tablet cut off. I have the text messages also. She said she was getting her tablet cut off, and if I wanted to speak with her, I have to call her phone. I said, I ain't argue. I said, all right, cool. So I FaceTimed her. Like I said, keep my Onyx is 1 year old. I FaceTimed her. She declined the FaceTime and want a regular call. Like I said, Onyx cannot talk because she only 1 year old. So I was like, that was kind of petty. So then it got to the point where I used to talk to her every morning. And then I got a text, good morning, how's Onyx doing? It used to be right then, but then I started getting messages back 8, 9 o'clock at night. And sometimes no responses. And I feel like you got mad because I said I wasn't going to pay the tablet bill. So I guess you wanted to make me suffer because of that. So I've been trying to be in communication. I got text messages from Christmas when I said, hey, she messaged me that night. I messaged her that morning. Hey, good morning. How Onyx doing? She messaged me that night and said, good. I said, okay. I said, have you put her stuff together? I never get no response back. And that's the reason why I can't get visitation. I can't see her because of the communication. You know, I can't make her answer the phone, but it's just some form of communication. That's why where we at now. You know, I have no communication. Or I call, don't get no answer. So that's where the problem come in at. But like I said, I know at the court, you can't make a person answer their phone. But in the court order, I can call. The judge stated that long as I call 2 weeks in advance, I'll be able to get her. But if you're not answering calls or not communicating, I cannot get that visitation right there. So that's been the real problem with that communication. It's like, you know, everything will be good, but as soon as you get mad because it's something that you don't like that I done, you stop communicating with me. You know, and you do things like you won't let me get her, but you'll come to Mississippi and don't even tell me. Pass right by where I said, don't tell me. Like, it's just a communication thing right there. I have no problem at all with the child support. And the only thing that I ask is communication. That's the only thing. You know, but like I said, I know I can't make a person talk to me, but you're not hurting me. You're only hurting the child in that point right there. And to have 10 minutes out of a day, I don't believe that'll kill anybody, you know, or hurt anyone, you know.
So you think that you can work together with Miss Benson?
Yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem at all. But I just need some communication. That's all. Like, you don't have to sit there on the phone with me hours, you know. Hey, Onyx doing good. That's all. Like, you stay 5 hours from me. So it's not like I can drive here. You know, if I drive, that's 5 hours. That's 5 hours back. It's 10 hours right there. You know, if I have no form of communication, I can't know what's going on or anything like that. I have no problem at all. Like I said, when I got to seeing changes after the last court, when I messaged early in the morning, good morning, before court, I used to get messages right back. Or I FaceTimed her every morning while she was getting ready for school. And after I said I was going to pay her tablet bill to just take it out of child support, then there was a problem right there. You said you were going to cut her tablet off. And if I wanted to talk to her, I have to contact you, which I felt was petty, but I didn't even argue with it. I agreed with it. So I started contacting her, and I contact her that morning, and I get a message 8, 9 o'clock at night. Good. Like, you know, like I said, it's just a communication thing.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Do you have anything further?
Yes.
If I could go back to Miss Benson regarding the arrears.
You may.
Miss Benson, you heard my summary of the arrears balance on the case.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in agreement to those amounts that they're owed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking the court to do a judgment for those amounts?
The amount you just named, the $1,500 and $100.
Yes, ma'am. The arrears on the case.
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
The state does not represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance if there's anything additional you think I need to hear. Ms. Benson, is there anything additional you'd like to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
First, I want to speak upon the income. The income that he's giving you, that's not the income. There's not. He have showed me check stubs where he make $6,500 a week. He take load $1,200 a day, $600 a day. I have seen that. So the amount that he's giving y'all, that's not accurate. As far as the with Onyx, seeing Onyx, like he said, we was in agreement when, first of all, he went 10 to 11 months without having no communication. He had no reason not to reach out to her. He got mad because he couldn't accept the fact that we wasn't together. So when we went to court in 2024, end of August, the beginning of September, he ended up reaching to me after court. Well, actually, my other kid's dad reached out to him about doing for his daughter, being there for his daughter, because they were trying to put him at fault for my baby. So once he reached out to him, whatever happened with that, and we had court that day, he ended up texting me that evening to talk to me. I work every day through the week, 10-hour shifts. So when he reached out to me, I told him I talked to him late that evening. So we ended up talking when I got off work or whatever. And the entire time we was on the phone, he never asked about Onyx. So I ended up bringing up Onyx, and I brought him to the truck stop to meet Onyx. Later that week, I think it was that same week, I ended up bringing him to the truck stop to see him. Because he asked me, could I bring him? I told him, yeah. So he seen her then, and then he came for her birthday. I asked him, like, well, you going to come down the weekend for her birthday? So what he did, he drove to a party. He was late. He left her party early for whatever reason. I don't know. After that, he was texting. Oh, let me go back. He got her an iPad for her birthday. The reason he got the iPad for her birthday, because he like, what you want Onyx to get for her birthday? I said, I was going to buy her an iPad or either a phone or whatever. And he was like, well, do you want to get the iPad? And he was like, yes. I said, there'll be the way you can communicate with her on FaceTime, because you're not going to tie my line up with FaceTiming Onyx, and you ain't going to keep her attention on it. So that was the agreement really why she got the iPad for her birthday. So I put the iPad on my line so she can be able to talk to him. Like if she away from the house, she won't have to have Wi-Fi. So she was talking to him. He was paying the bill every month. Then boom, like he said, December came. I reached out to him. I said, hey, can you buy Onyx some diapers? He said, no, I paid child support. Take it out of there. I said, well, what about the iPad? I said, you agreed that you was going to pay the iPad and, for your communication with Onyx. He said, well, that was before you want to do the court way. He said, so take it out of there. I said, well, I would have the iPad cut off because I'm not going to pay a bill when you agreed to, I got the text message as well. When he agreed to get the iPad for his phone, his way of communicating with her. I said, so from now on, don't contact the iPad, contact me to get to talk to, find out whatever you need to talk to Onyx. So we didn't have no communication after that for maybe a day or two, maybe a week out. I'm not sure. I have to look at the messages and see. So then he did reach out. He was texting, good morning. I work. And in the beginning, I was going out my way to get up early enough to get Onyx up so she can talk to her dad. But when he seemed like he didn't want to be there and do what he needs to do for her, why should I go all the way out my way to make something for you when you got all day to take, do the beats, talk to Onyx? Then he got to the point where he was like, oh, I was asleep. I couldn't talk to Onyx, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. So I was like, okay. I said, well, when he did reach out to me that time, he did FaceTime me. When he FaceTimed me, I did not ignore his call. I didn't have my phone. I returned the call. I returned the call regular. I did not return the call FaceTime. So I told him, hold on, let me take Onyx the phone. So I took the phone under the Onyx. She did her little baby talk or whatever. And I like, you hear Onyx? He like, no. I like, oh, she on the phone. I said, you can talk to her. And she was holding the phone. She was making her little babbling noise or whatever. And he just sat there. I said, Jirell, you don't hear Onyx? He like, well, something. He said on his breath. I said, what did you say? But he didn't want to repeat it. So, but I think I heard him say, that's why I FaceTime her. He like, well, I'm going to call y'all back later. Never call back. So after that, maybe a couple of days later, he texted me. He do text. He said, good morning, how's Onyx? I'm at work. I'm not going to take out of my schedule at work and just check my text message to reply back to you then. So when I get home and get settled, I did reply to his message. So everything I was doing in the beginning, I was going out of my way to do that, to try to make him be active. But it's not my job to make him be there for her, to make him talk to her and all that. I was doing all the extra stuff for him. But when I seen that he only do certain things when he feel like, or when it's convenient to him, or when he ain't mad at me, I put an end to this. So I was going to only respond to him when he reach out, because I have Onyx here with me. So there's really no reason for me to reach out to him unless it's something. I had reached out to Jirell about Onyx being in the hospital, Onyx being sick. Jirell had no care in the world. He'd be like, oh, okay. He don't check her in up on to see how she doing. She been in and out the hospital when it was 2024. I would text him about that. In and out the hospital with her being sick, RSV, all other type of stuff going on with her. He showed no concern. I reached out to him and called him, let him know. So after that, when she started doing her hospital visits and having stuff going on, I didn't reach out to him because it was upsetting me more reaching out to him, and he have an attitude like he don't even care what's going on. So December, he didn't text me for Christmas. He didn't say nothing about Christmas. And I haven't heard from Jirell since the last time he texted me, when he said good morning, X how Onyx was doing, and I said good, and that was it. So once everything was going good until he had to start paying child support. And not only that, I had people somebody write me off a fake page. I did a police report. Somebody been writing me off a fake page with the documents that only me, him, and Brian have. They wrote inbox me and Brian off a fake page, harassing me, somebody they gonna get people to do to me, saying Jirell a good man. He should have never had a baby by me. I need to go find out who my real baby daddy is. They also inboxed Brian and his girlfriend with the same stuff
You've
saying
lost me with names. I don't know who Brian is.
Brian is the one that we have to get. He's by law, he's my husband, but we've been separated for 12 years. So he had to be tested for Onyx because the state law of Texas say that legally Onyx is his child until he's ruled out. So that's why we have to do the DNA test for me, Brian, which is my other kid's father, and Jirell. And he was getting threatened messages too, saying that somebody needs to put their feet on my throat and all type of stuff, like harassing them about me. And I called child support and spoke to someone, and they told me that those papers are public record, but only way to get public access to them, you have to have a certain type of information. So only people who have the information is me, Brian, and Jirell. I didn't write myself from a fake page. Brian got the same harassment. He didn't do it. So it's only one other person there, left to be out here and trying to harass
police
people.
Reports, ma'am? What documents are you talking about?
I went and did a police report because I was getting harassed after Jirell had to start paying child support, which I never received.
I'm not in control of that, ma'am. Okay.
So the communication was not a problem. Jirell don't know how to communicate. I've been told Jirell from the long, you can see Onyx whenever you get ready, as long as you know me, let me know in advance, ma'am.
Who is Jirell? Do we not have his name?
Charles is Jirell.
Okay.
I call him. I know when I met him, I've been knowing him ever since I've been knowing him since I was 13. I always know him as Jirell. I never knew his name was Charles until we went to court. So I call him Jirell. But I was open with communication. I told me I used to call him and say, hey, you want to come see Onyx this weekend? I even offered him to come down. He can bring his mom. They can get a room. Onyx can sit there because Onyx is a girl. A lot of stuff happening with girls these days. Not saying that he'll do it. I don't know what he may be capable of, but things are happening with girls and their dads. And my baby ain't been around him. She's a female. So that's kind of a safety issue with me with a girl being around. That's a total stranger to her, especially when he's not making no effort to even try to reach out to her, come visit. And I have gave him option you can come see her, blah, blah, this. And so, yes, I have came to Mississippi in the past, but at what point do I have to reach out to him when I haven't been talking to him? I'm not going to say, hey, I'm in Mississippi, you want to see your daughter? Because if you want to see your daughter, you'd have reached out to me before then, and we would have had some type of form of communication that you'd have been seeing your daughter and you was wanting to see your daughter. And I went to Mississippi on personal reasons with family issues. For family related issues. So that's why I was in Mississippi, but it was an in and out Mississippi. But still at the end of the day, Jirell have not reached out to me. He's blaming all this because he had to pay child support. I've been taking care of Onyx ever since day one. That money he gave me it helped for the things that he did and it's appreciated, but I've been doing this on my own. So money, it was never really an issue. But I feel like I shouldn't have to take care of my daughter by myself when I didn't make her by myself. And I feel like my daughter shouldn't have to suffer with not having her dad in her life because he's mad at me for whatever reason. Because I'm easy to get along with. No matter what our difference is, I'm willing to put that aside and focus on our child because she's the bigger picture. I don't want to see my daughter grow up with no dad in her life. And I had told him that before. Ma'am?
How much is the iPad bill?
$60 a month.
Is that for the iPad, the 60 month, or is it for the actual data?
That's for the iPad, the service.
Okay, so you're paying off the iPad. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It had to be paid off within 24 months. It's a 24 months.
Okay. Mr. Buoy, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, the part of the communication, my schedule fluctuates. So sometimes I sleep during the day, and that's the reason why I say I'm not able to talk to her because I'm sleeping during the day and I night ride. So that's the reason for that. For the latter that she was getting the threats and stuff, I also received those same things from a fake page. And I also reached out to her husband, Bryant. I also reached out to him. I was like, hey, man, do you stay in, have you ever stayed in Hazelhurst? He was like, no, I screenshot and sent it to him. He didn't mention anything to me about he got that too. He was like, man, that's crazy. But up on the ladder, yes.
I want to stop you both for a moment. I'm not sure what you all do agree to and don't agree to anymore, because you both seem to indicate you agreed to the standard possession order. but I'm hearing an awful lot of concerns from both of you that seem like they're visitation issues. So I'm not sure what you're all asking for. You all obviously have some issues and don't get along well. There's obviously this issue over the iPad, which is causing an awful lot of strife.
Like for me, I have no problem at all. As long as I can get some communication, I have no problem at all.
Well, okay, let me take a step back and just let you all know this. Visitation, once it's set up by a court, shouldn't require discussion. He has the right to see the child. You come, you get the child. If you don't get the child, you can look into filing for contempt. Now, obviously, communication is better because things happen, especially when you live really far away. Someone could be violently ill. Obviously, nobody wants to expose, whether it's the child or Mr. Buoy, no one wants to be exposing other people to that illness, and so you might need to reschedule or cancel. So I'm not saying things don't happen and there's just no communication, but as a general rule, things are going along, people are healthy, nothing major is going on. You should be able to just go visit without having Miss Benson involved. That being said, communication is better than no communication. But let me go back to, ma'am, what are you asking for visitation? It was originally said in the beginning of this hearing that you agree to the standard possession order. Are you still agreeing to that?
Is that the visit once a month?
Yeah, since he lives far away, it would be once a month, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what he's talking about with the reaching out to them, since there's a
Hey, Judge, can I say something?
no, give me a moment, sir. I'm just trying to see what you're talking about. "14 days written or so yeah, you just give 14 days written or telephonic notice, sir, and you don't need a response back. You've given your notice.
Yes,
Okay. I mean, I know it's difficult, and obviously it's going to be expensive if you keep driving out there and she doesn't turn the child over to you. But you know, we don't know that that's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
No.
And she shouldn't do that. So, ma'am, please don't start doing that. But at this point, you know, you let her know this is the weekend I chose, and you go and you follow the times in the order, the schedule in the order, and you go, and then she should turn the child over to you. You shouldn't be relying on each other for stuff. Right now, things are kind of raw between you two. You're learning to adjust, and now that there's a court order between you two about what's child support, what's not. You know, in the past, he wasn't giving you child support, ma'am, and so I guess you'd ask for stuff and he'd give it to you. Although it doesn't sound like he was giving you much. If all you can agree to is $900 over 2 years, you're going to get far more than that in child support. And so even though it might seem frustrating, you're in the temporary order, it was $350 a month. Right now, I think the number being thrown around is a little less than that, but still over $300 a month. So you'll be at $900 in less than 3 months versus 2 years or a year and a half. Actually, it's $434 right now is what he's agreeing to. Okay. Ms. Damani, do you have a request that the state's asking for regarding back support so Mr. Buoy can respond to that?
Yes, Your Honor. I calculated a back child support for 3 months, the year of 2023, and then 11 months for 2024, with a credit for $900, a total of $5,408.
Do you want to respond to that?
I'm ready to get over. We can market it that I'm agreeing with it. We don't have to argue with it. I'm not working with it. We can do that.
So, sir, did you get that iPad as a birthday gift for the child, for your daughter?
Yes.
And you knew when you did it, it was $60 a month for 24 months. Is that correct? Or did you not know?
No, well, I just do $60 a month. But like I said, that was before I was paying child support. You know, you wasn't getting nothing but like the Pampers and the things like that. So that's why when it came, that's why I was like, well, hey, just take it out of the child support. You get more, you getting $400 and something. So I was like, just take it out the child support. Say you get 900 every 3 months, just take it out of that. It shouldn't have been a problem. Like, I don't understand what was the difference between me actually giving you the money and it's taking out of child support. You both, it's there, it's both coming from me,
If you don't pay for it, it sounds like it might get cut off. Do you understand that?
Uh-huh.
Are you prepared for that?
Well, it wasn't no communicating with her. Like, she worked and I worked, so she said she was going out the way. So really, I really wouldn't get the communication until the visitation anyway, if I'm not getting any response, So if she working 10 hours, she say, and my schedule fluctuates, so
if it's, is it even possible to return the iPad? I mean, I guess someone's on the hook for this money. Is that correct?
Ma'am?
You can't just return the iPad, right? Or can you?
You can return it. It just affect your credit with the company.
But Judge, if I can get the communication or just calling and at least she can get her just to answer it and pop it up, I don't mind paying it if I can get the communication. But I don't want to pay for something that I'm not going to get communication from. That's my only thing with it. I don't mind. I paid the $60 for the communication to be able to talk to her when both of us schedule are free or whatever. Maybe she get off work and get her and can prop it up and I talk to her for a little bit. I have no problem with that. But if I'm paying it and not getting no communication, that's where the problem would come in. But I have no problem with that.
Can I speak on that, Judge?
You can't, and honestly, this really isn't before me. I'm debating if I should try to address it in your order because it seems like somewhat important. But do keep them on. Your child's 1. Right now they need parental help to do almost anything. But they are gonna grow and they're gonna grow fast. And at some point they won't need that help. But yes, Miss Benson.
The thing about that, when Onyx had that iPad, she was talking to her dad. Whether, like I said, whoever had Onyx, the iPad goes with her. When she was with her godparents or whoever may be watching her for the time while I'm at work, only time he can't talk to her during school hours because she go to school. After that, I let my daughter know, I let my dad know, I let her godparents know. Onyx have talked to him when she wasn't around me. They told me that he called, but that was in the past when he was paying the bill. He had all communication with. If he had a missed call and I see it, I'll call back. Sometimes I'm not gonna tell a story. The iPad been on died and I'll forget to charge it. And when I do charge it, I call. I said, "Oh, I seen you call." I said, "I didn't know." I said, "From now on, if you call," and we had a disagreement on that. I said, "From now on, when you call Onyx iPad and nobody don't answer call, we're not used to having an iPad around, so we be all over the place." So I said, "If you call and you don't get an answer, text my phone like, hey, I tried to call Onyx, I ain't getting no answer," and I said, "I'll get her to call you back." It ain't like Onyx can pick the iPad up and say, "Hey, let me see who called me." I quite wasn't really thinking like, "Oh, let me see if Onyx got any missed calls." If she grabbed the iPad, she grabbed it. Or if I hear it ringing while I'm around, I'm at home, then yes, we answer his call. We never ignored none of his calls. We never not returned his calls. It may have not got returned always promptly for the most part. Most time it did get returned promptly, but sometimes there have been times that we didn't return right away because I didn't know she had missed calls, and I called him, and that turned ugly. They turned into an argument. He like, "Oh, you want stuff to be your way, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that." No, I'm just telling you, hey, if you call her and she don't answer and I don't hear it, we don't know you got a call. I don't always think to say, "Hey, let's check the iPad." So text me. I may not text back right then and there, but when I do see it, I will reply and say, "Hey, so Onyx this place or the iPad maybe this place, we'll return it later." So he was getting communication through that iPad then, but as of now, he haven't got, like he said, he haven't got any communication with the iPad because we haven't even been on talking terms. And like I said, like I feel like I didn't do nothing wrong. I have no reason to I'm not gonna run nobody down, beg nobody to be a father. That's not my job. My job is to be a mother and be there for my daughter. I can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. And I can't control how you feel about a situation. So I just hate that my daughter have to suffer the outcome because me and him can't get on one page about things that we need to be on for our kid. And we don't have these discussions. I'm always was open with him, talking to him about like ways we can better this. And he told me, I got the message. He said, I appreciate you being a good mother and doing what you did for us while I wasn't there. It'll never happen again. And we brought the new year in the same way we brought it in 2024. No communication. And Onyx getting older. And I look at her a lot of times and it hurt my heart that she don't have her dad there. You know, even though we got what we got going on, but at the end of the day, I want my baby to have her dad there. And I feel like that's not right. That my daughter, that we can't put our differences aside and we study going back and forth to court because the same stuff. And money really ain't the issue. Because when I did call, he did do the list stuff he did, but for the most part, I took care of my daughter. Because I don't like begging nobody to do nothing for my child. You know your child need diapers. I shouldn't have to call you every 2 weeks and say, hey, can you buy diapers? You got my address. Send her what you want her to have. That's all I ask. I shouldn't have to tell you constantly what you need to do as a father. That's not my job. So I'm just like, I'm really over this situation. Like, it's like we're not getting nowhere. We do good. Like, we get off this call, we'll be doing perfectly fine. And when something don't go his way, my baby get the short end of the stick. She got the suffer, and she getting older, and she learning. So that my daughter would know, like, you know, well, her daddy ain't there. She's almost 1.5, so she know a lot more than what you would think she'll know, and he missing out on all that because, like, he can't put his difference aside. We can't get on one accord for her, and my baby shouldn't have to go through that, and I shouldn't have to go through, and we as a whole shouldn't have to go through. We should just be trying to be here and focus on the bigger picture, and it's our daughter. I'm on there with the judge now. On the phone with the judge.
Okay. Should be done.
I'll be, yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. I'm sorry about that. I'm at work. That was my boss. He let me took this call. But I know the decision up to y'all. We done spoke out truth on everything or whatever the case may be, but it's like, I ain't gonna just say it's pointless, but it's like we never get nowhere with it because, like, and I'm not gonna run nobody down. I'm not gonna make nobody do nothing. Like, I've been doing what I do for my daughter all this time, so I'd accepted the fact, like, this is what it is. Like, I'm not forcing nothing. I'm not going out my way no more for nobody. I'm only doing reciprocating what's been issued to me. If you reach out to me, I'll reach out to you. If you don't want to do no forms of communication, I'm not reaching out to you. I have no reason to. That's not my job to make you be there, make you understand, make you want to know things. That's not my job. So I'm not gonna do it. But he think that, oh, I can go this long without talking to her and I can just jump back in the picture and be like, oh, she's supposed to be all jolly and no, because you leave and you come back when you want to. My baby is not, your daughter is not an option. She's supposed to be prioritized. And I feel like she's, at the end of the day, she's been left as an option. She's not his main focus.
Okay, get down. I'm going to make my ruling and render judgment. I'm ordering that Miss Benson is the managing conservator and that Mr. Buoy is the possessory conservator with no residency restriction. I'm ordering Mr. Buoy has the standard possession order that's in the temporary order for possession and access. I'm finding that nobody has private insurance or dental insurance for Onyx, and I'm ordering that Miss Benson continue with a government or medical assistance program with, I'm ordering Mr. Buoy to pay Miss Benson cash medical support of $25 each month beginning April 1st, 2025. For child support, I'm finding its gross resources are the $2,907.25 per month. And I'm ordering child support based on that. However, I'm ordering that Mr. Buoy pay, and I guess you pay Miss Benson. Is that how you're doing it for the iPad?
Yes, ma'am. I cash out.
Okay, so I'm ordering that you pay her outside of the child support registry,
All right.
$60 a month for the iPad. Ma'am, do you know how much it will be once the actual iPad, the device, is paid off?
I think them lines, like, I want to say somewhere between $20 and $30 a month, and then the insurance, like, I think $18. So it's something like that. I have to look at the breakdown, but that'll be after 24 months. The bill will go down. I can if that's what you order, I can let him know, or I can show him the paper or whatever he want me to do.
Okay, so I'm ordering so that you pay for the iPad. I am giving you a $40 credit until October 2026. So your child support starting April 1st, 2024 will be $394 with that credit for the iPad. And that will be until October 2024. And then it will go back to $434 a month beginning November 1st of 2026.
Plus 25, right?
No, it's 24 months from October of 2024. Is that correct?
No, I was talking about for the medical. The plus the 20, like the number
Yes,
you
plus
just.
the 25. I'm sorry. Yes, I thought you were asking.
That's fine. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I am finding you in arrears for child support $1,548.41 as of March 5th, 2025. I'm ordering a cumulative. I'm also ordering back child support.
I'm so sorry, Judge. You said you found him in arrears in what amount?
Oh, well, one moment. I'm looking at mine. It was the amount in your pay record as of March 5th, 2025.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, I am finding him in arrears the $1,548.41 as of March 4. I guess this is run on March 5th. I guess you still told me it was March 5th, 2025.
I'm sorry, how much, Judge? For the back child support?
It's the amount. I haven't ordered that yet. I keep just saying the amount on your pay record for arrears, and it's the amount on your pay record. For child support, retroactive support, I'm ordering $4,951.59, 4951.59. So I'm ordering a cumulative judgment against Mr. Buoy in the amount of $6,500 as of March 5th, 2025. I'm ordering that he pay that back at a rate of $45 per month beginning April 1st, 2025, with a step up of $45 plus $434 when the child emancipates. I'm also ordering I'm finding he's in medical support arrears, $100.13 as of March 5th, 2025 for your pay record. And I'm ordering a judgment for medical support arrears against Mr. Buoy in the amount of $100.13 as of yesterday. And I'm ordering that he pay that back at a rate of $2 per month beginning April 1st of 2025. I'm denying the non-disclosure request, and I'm ordering that Mr. Buoy pay court costs as billed by March 6th, 2025. State's going to draft the order based on my ruling and send it to me to review and sign off on.
And Judge, you said March 6, 2026 for court costs?
Yes.
I have a question when you get a minute.
You can ask it. It might be something more appropriate for the AG's office, but what is your question?
I was gonna ask, so y'all taking the iPad money out the child support?
Don't pay that to you directly.
But they dropped the child support so you can pay it. That's what I'm asking. So
Not
basically like
full
it's coming
amount.
out of
I
child
gave
support.
him a credit of $40 until October of 2024 is what I did. I did a deviation based on the iPad as a credit on the child support.
Okay, and I'm sorry. And also I remember like the last time we had court, y'all said that he's supposed to have some documents turned in to get his income, because I drive trucks as well. Jirell drive over the road. I drive
Ma'am,
local.
I'm gonna let you go talk to the AG's office about that issue.
Okay.
I'm here to hear evidence and make a ruling, and I've heard evidence today and I've made my ruling. So I'm gonna let you go talk to the AG's office about that.
Okay.
We're gonna stop the recording. Are there any agreements?
I don't. believe so, Judge.
Okay.
I think we're just going to start the hearing.
Okay.
I will call Ms. Benson first. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're here today to talk about the child Onyx. Could you tell us her full name and age?
Onyx Buoy. She's 1 year old.
Okay. And at the time Onyx was born, were you married to Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Judge would offer into evidence as State's Exhibit A DNA test results showing that Mr. Jones is not the father.
Oh, okay. It's in the court file, so I'll admit it into evidence.
And who is the child's father, ma'am?
Charles Jirell Buoy.
Judge offering into evidence as State's Exhibit B the DNA test results reflecting that Mr. Buoy is the child's father.
Okay. And Mr. Buoy, have you had a chance to see those results?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any objection to me admitting those into evidence?
No.
Okay, they're admitted into evidence.
All right, ma'am. What county do you currently live in?
Chambers.
All right. I understand. Am I correct that Mr. Buoy does not live in Texas right now?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you, Mr. Buoy, have a relationship in Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you believe that the child Onyx was conceived in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what is your level of interaction with Mr. Buoy now? Do y'all speak about the child?
Yeah, we speak about her now.
Okay. You're able to communicate about what the child needs, maybe medically or educationally?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does Mr. Buoy get to see Onyx? Does he visit with her?
Well, he just really came back in the picture, and he's came to her birthday party, and he's seen her one time before then when he was headed to work.
Okay. Are you comfortable with him having a relationship with her? You want him to get to see the child?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have any concerns regarding your address being listed in an order of the court?
No.
So he's had some limited involvement with the child, but maybe not alone or long periods of time.
Yeah, he wasn't alone, and not a long period of time.
Okay. If I'm correct, Onyx just turned 1.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. Do you have you and he discussed anything going forward, him seeing the child more? Have y'all had any discussions regarding that?
He comes out and see her anytime he wants to, and he said he'll just, with his job schedule, he'll have to just let me know how that goes on, like when he'll be able to be free to see her. And I told him just let me know in advance, and we can make something happen.
Okay, so you're willing, y'all are both willing, but he's out of state, and that's the issue?
Yes.
Okay. Does Onyx have any health insurance available?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that private health insurance?
No, ma'am. She's on Medicaid.
Did you and Mr. Buoy break up or end your relationship before or after Onyx was born?
Before.
Okay. And has he provided you any financial assistance for the child since her birth?
He did. Well, he bought like diapers, like maybe the first month of her life, maybe first or 2 months, and then we didn't talk from all the way from January up until like August or September. So he did nothing between that time from January to August or September. Then he came back in the picture and he bought diapers and stuff. Or if I call him extra for something, he'll do it.
Okay. Do you know anything about Mr. Buoy's employment?
A little on what he told me.
Okay. What do you have knowledge of?
I know he just worked for a company called, I think, PNS, but he on another company called Blair under there. But this,
I can't understand
really
you, ma'am. Could you repeat that? I didn't understand you.
And actually, are you
I said he worked for ma'am.
Are you on Bluetooth? In a vehicle?
I can't understand what you're saying. I'm at a standstill.
Are you using Bluetooth though in the vehicle?
I'm using a headset.
Is that with Bluetooth? Because sometimes Bluetooth makes it hard to hear on Zoom.
Let me see. Can I? so I don't even know how to dis it without hanging on my ear.
Is it going through the car?
Are you able to hear me better now, ma'am?
A little bit better now.
Marginally? Yeah, marginally.
I was asking what you were aware of regarding Mr. Buoy's employment.
I just know that he worked for a company called P&S, and I guess he drive for Blair.
Okay.
He's leasing from one of them companies.
Okay, I see that Onyx's last name is already Buoy. Is that what you want it to remain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Judge, I will pass this witness subject to recall and speak with Mr. Buoy. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes.
Okay, good. So tell us a little bit about the time you spent with Onyx. Have you gotten to see her a few times?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Has that been visiting at Miss Benson's residence or alone, or just give us a little bit of idea about the time you've been able? I know you don't live close to spend.
Yeah, when the baby, when she was first born, we were still together at the time. So I was around when she was first born, and then we had broke up and we stopped talking for a while, and then we recently started back talking about a month maybe before her birthday in October, and I came through Texas and she brought her to the truck stop, and the other time I came to her birthday party.
Okay. And where do you live, sir?
I stay in Mississippi.
Do you have much cause for work or non-work to be in Texas?
I drive trucks.
Okay, you drive them
all over
the country?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, I don't have no set route.
Okay. Do you have any other children?
Yes.
Okay. Well, how old is that child?
10.
Okay. Does that child live with you?
No.
Okay. Are you ordered to pay child support for that child?
Yes.
Okay. Are you and Miss Benson able now to talk about the needs of the child? Can you text or call?
Yes.
What sort of visitation are you looking for with Onyx? Granted, you don't live close and she's young.
We said, when we spoke about it, we said at least once a month I would come down, at least once a month, one weekend, out of a month.
Okay. You mentioned you drive trucks. Tell me about your employment.
Yes, I'm an owner operator with my truck leased on to a company.
Okay, what's the name of that company?
Blair.
And so, let me be clear. Do you lease a truck or you own your truck?
Lease a truck.
Okay. What kind of driving do you do?
What you mean? Flatbed?
What are you hauling stuff to?
Flatbed, yeah, flatbed.
Okay. You're an independent contractor?
Yes.
Okay. How are you paid? Is it a per job, per hour?
Yeah,
per month?
Per job.
Okay. Are you pretty consistently working?
Yeah, it is up and down,
Okay. What kind of stuff do you haul?
Cars, lumber and pipes, things like that.
And you haul it all over the country?
Just about.
Okay. What do you think you make weekly? Let's say weekly.
Weekly, I write myself out a check between $550 and $600 a week.
Okay. Is that what you're taking home?
Yes.
After taxes and stuff, or is that before?
Oh, that's before.
Okay.
Because I had to take 30%, then I had to put maintenance up for my truck, because anything breaks down, I have to pay for it. So I have to put money up for maintenance and everything.
So you're saying you typically gross $550 to $600 a week?
That's what I write myself for me. Everything else I had to put up for the truck and taxes and things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so but what you're saying, paying for the truck and taxes, are you saying that's coming out of the $600, or is that what you've got left?
That's what I have. That's what I write myself out. Everything else had to go to an escrow account, things like that.
Okay. So you're saying you pay for those other expenses out of the check to yourself?
No, that's what I write myself. That's my check because everything else had to go for the truck.
Okay, so you're saying you're taking home a check for $550 to $600 a week?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What do you think the gross amount before those other expenses, escrow for the truck is?
See,
What
you
do
gotta
you
look
start with?
you gotta look at I'm owner operator, so I pay for my own diesel. I'm paying I had to come out my own diesel. I have insurance, have everything that I have to take. I pays all that out of there.
I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out where we're starting from. I understand you have significant expenses.
Yeah, it varies, you know. I might make a $1,500, I might make 2,000, you know, it varies. You know, like I said, I really don't know because it depends on how much diesel that I use for that week or things like that.
Let's see. Prior to now, she mentioned some support for the child. Have you sent her any money and diapers? What have you done to support the child prior to now?
Basically, she just let me know, and like she might call for medicine, and I cash app it, or she might say she need a Pampers or something like that, and I just order it from Walmart, whatever she need. I just order it from Walmart to get it sent directly to her home.
As far as cash or money sent Venmo, things like that, you've not done that. You've sent items. Is that correct?
If I did, it was on Cash App.
Okay. Am I correct? You don't have private health insurance available through the kind of work you do?
No, ma'am. I don't have health insurance.
Okay. And how long have you been working the company you're with?
December will make a year.
All right. I'll pass this witness, Judge. Just going to ask Ms. Benson a couple more things.
Okay, well, we do so.
Ms. Benson,
Ma'am.
when we talk about child support, we're typically talking about starting now and going forward in time. Okay. Are you asking for any back child support money for the time that you have primarily supported the child before now, roughly a year of life?
Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all live together at any point in time? He referenced you were still together when the child was born. Did you live together during any part of Onyx's life?
I want to say he did when he came. His job was like he was his load taking him back and forth from Texas to Mississippi. So when he have a load coming there, he'll spend the night there. And when he don't, his residence is in Mississippi. He was basically just he come stay here and there. We never lived together.
All right. I will pass this witness, Judge. Do some calculations here.
And the state does not represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance to let me know if there's anything additional you think I need to hear to consider. I guess I'll start with you, Ms. Benson. Is there anything else about either visitation or conservatorship, child support, back child support that you think I need to hear?
No, ma'am. We spoke, like we said, we spoke up on the visitation, and stuff like that. So I'll just.
So you're okay with him having one weekend a month?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
Okay. And holidays, you're okay with him having visitation on holidays? Not every holiday, obviously. Holidays, you're okay with him having like a standard holiday visit?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Buoy, is there anything additional you think I need to hear about any of those issues?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We're asking for $25 a month for the medical support in this case. And I'm going to need some guidance on you about the financial part. I've calculated it several different ways. Okay. Clearly he's self-employed and we want to give him credit for that. However, the difference in saying that the gross is $1,500 to $2,000 a week, but the take home is $600, that's a really high percentage loss there based on our typical self-employment figures, is what I will say. And I don't think it's reasonable to just base off $600 a week, nor do I think going all the way to $2,000 gross is reasonable either.
And sir, okay, so you're going to hit a year in December. I'm almost wondering if we should do temporary orders and then reset to see his taxes.
To do some discovery, because you see what I'm saying, that the range is quite large here.
Yeah, and I understand that he has expenses. I mean, I don't doubt there are some steep expenses, but what they actually are, you know, he might be underestimating or overestimating. We have no idea, without And since he hasn't put, he hasn't been there a full year, he hasn't done taxes yet. So I doubt he really even, sometimes when you put pen to paper, you're like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. So, and I don't blame him for that. It's just the circumstance.
The issue is if you want to do temporary, how to set it temporary. I mean, obviously, if you just say 600 a week, you come up with a very low number.
May I speak, Ayana?
Yes, yeah.
2,500. That's more. No, when I'm talking about my expenses, I have to take care of diesel. Like we get paid. It's like I might get paid $1,200 for a load, right? Okay, I only get 30% of that right there. I have diesel and everything, so 2,500 a month. That's more than almost what I bring home, what I make a month. So that's put me all the way out of business. It's no way possible that I could pay that. No way possible. That would put me completely out of business.
No,
I think you're misunderstanding.
No, I'm not talking about that much.
No, she's trying to figure out what your fair gross and fair net is.
For a month's work.
For a month's work, not how much child support, sir, do you think you should be paying? Do you have any ballpark?
Well, I can do 450 to 500.
We don't normally conduct business this way, Ms. Benson, but do you care to respond to that? What are your thoughts on that figure?
And I just wanted him to throw that out there so I could see.
Yeah, so we could some ballpark, yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to.
I really don't know. I just really want to go off his income. I'm not sure what his income is. I'm not sure on it. I just know like what he possibly making. Them numbers that he's saying don't sound right, but I don't know. I don't be with him. I don't see his check stubs. But because y'all asked him clearly like what is his, but he wants to tell you what he's writing off at the end and not what he's bringing home. Like I don't know. It's up to y'all.
Sir, what number did you say again?
You said 450 to 500 a month.
And you have one other child?
Yes.
What can I ask y'all? What number did y'all come up with?
Ma'am, that's the problem. It's very difficult to calculate this for this kind of line of work without requiring tax returns and pay stubs and documents like that be sent in. That's kind of the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not one of the easier. This isn't like working at Chick-fil-A where it's $10 an hour, 40 hours, that kind of thing. So it's a bit more complicated.
Excuse me, may I speak?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, if I send y'all my check stubs for the last 3 to 4 months, the price will actually be lower than that. It will actually be lower than that, and that's coming directly from Blair. That's not what the check that I'm writing. My check last week at they deposited in my account was $171. The check before that was maybe $400. The check was like I'm giving you this amount right here. Those things, the numbers that I gave you, I'm writing that out of my account, rather what they pay me. So if we go off of what Blair sends me without me writing a check, it's going to be lower than that. I can email you my check stubs from the last 3 to 4 months now, directly from Blair. And those numbers are way lower.
Wait, sir. I guess I'm now getting lost. So Blair sends you money, but you also write a check from the money you receive?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So let me just say, so you understand this. Income includes not just money you get from a company, it includes any source of money you receive. So yes, both of those are income. So in addition to the $550 to $600 a week you write yourself, Blair sends you some minimal amount of money as well?
No, the money from Blair is what I write my checks out to myself. See what I'm saying? Like I own my own company. My company is Money Talk ENT. So what I do is I write myself a business check from there. Blair pays the money to them, to Money Talk. That's what the name of my company. And I write myself a personal check out the money that they give me. But if we go, like I said, if we go off of what Blair deposits to my accounts, the last year, you'll see those numbers are way low.
Okay, sir, then where is the other income coming for? You can't be writing yourself a larger check than they're giving you unless you have other sources of income.
No, you hear me? I'm writing it out of my account. That's why I said I really couldn't give you it just depends on what I make. That's why I said it depends on what I make. But my last check that I just got paid last week was $171. The check before that was maybe 600-700. Like it depends. Like, yeah, okay. If I get a load, like right now, I'm on the road and I'm sitting, I don't have a load. Like if this truck don't move, I don't make no money. So like right now, I'm sitting waiting to hoping to get a call. If I don't get a call today, I don't get a load. So hey, I might run 1 or 2 loads a week. It just varies, you know. I never know. Like the way the economy is, I don't know. We get loads, but I had to sit here and wait until they call me with a load. That's why I'm sitting now, waiting to get a load.
Okay, so Blair pays you like an independent contractor. You get like a 1099.
Yes.
And that is the only company that you're driving for?
Yes, that's the only company I drive for. You know, we had to run off of, I'm not knowing if you're familiar, we run off of logs. So I get 70 hours a week. You can't drive for another company without letting your company know that you're driving for them.
Okay. I'm inclined to for a temporary order to set this at $450 a month with $25 cash medical support. You live in Mississippi. Do they have a state income tax, sir?
Do I have what?
A state income tax?
Yes, from last year.
I'll look it up, Judge, but I think we just need to pick a number for right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's go with 450. Well, yeah. And I plan to reset that. So you're gonna do your taxes this year, right? It sounds like you have a business and like you're on top of the stuff.
Yeah, my last year 1099, that I didn't get to file last year, but I have it. I could fax it in. The total I made 39,000 and something. I got it at the house. I didn't get to file last year. I was gonna file this year and last year together. And
where
that's
did you work last year though? It wasn't for this company.
Ma'am.
What kind of work were you doing last year? Because it wasn't for Blair.
Driving. Yes,
for a
ma'am.
different company?
Yes, ma'am. I was in the jail, Barnett. I was driving a guy truck. Okay, he was on operator, and I was driving his truck. So he wrote checks out, and then at the end of the year, he printed a 1099 out for work. He paid me.
Judge, that comes out pretty much to the dime.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty on target within the ballpark of this.
But I got the exact paper at the house that my exact 1099 that I had from last year. You know.
If you reset the case, Judge, before we come back, there'll be a 1099 from this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get one in January.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's up to you, Ms. Benson. I mean, the more we flush this out, it sounds like this is in the ballpark. But again, without knowing truly what he earns at this company, it could go up, it could go down. I have no idea what's going to come out this year.
Okay.
So do you want to come back and have him bring documents and we could truly look at what he's getting this year? Or do you want to go with the 450, which is probably in the ballpark, but is it the actual number? We'll never know until we see it.
Okay.
So you're okay coming back?
Yeah, I'll come back. It don't matter.
Okay. So for a temporary order.
So what happened with the so I'm sorry, you were saying something? I'm sorry.
I was going to rule, but before I rule, if there's something else you're questioning, let's get that addressed.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I was saying, so when what he volunteered to pay, y'all amount is less than what he volunteered to pay?
Depends on how we calculate it, but it could be.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to do a temporary order. I'm going to establish that Mr. Buoy is Onyx's father and exclude Mr. Jones as Onyx's father based on the DNA results that were admitted into evidence. Onyx's last name will remain the same. I'm finding there is long-arm jurisdiction over Mr. Buoy in that the child was conceived here in Texas. I'm going to appoint the parties joint managing conservators. With no residency restriction, Ms. Benson will have the right to determine the primary residence of Onyx with no residency restriction. I'm going to order a standard possession order for parties over 100 miles. So essentially that is 1 weekend a month. You'd get to give her advance notice of the weekend, and that would be you'd come get the child.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm finding that nobody has private insurance at a reasonable cost and ordering cash medical support of $25 per month beginning December 1st of 2024. I'm going to order the child support at $450 per month beginning December 1st of 2024.
So the $25, do I send it in with the child support or do I send it? Okay, okay.
It
All
all
right.
goes to the state disbursement unit,
All right.
and that way you'll be sure to get credit.
All
if
right.
we send it to you
All
there.
right. All right.
We'll leave
Judges,
back. I'm sorry, yes.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna leave back child support to the final trial.
Yes.
And if either of you have proof of payments or things that you've given, if you could bring that to final trial, that might help that too. If there was any Cash App or any Venmo or anything, if you can compile that and if you're able to come up with receipts. Sometimes people underestimate that stuff when they guess, sometimes they overestimate it. The better proof we have, the better these orders can be. And at this point, I'm going to deny the non-disclosure.
As far as a reset date, we want to set it out far enough to have the documents. So February is an in-person docket. We don't want that. March or April.
Yeah, should we do it like late April? So maybe he'll have his taxes done. I don't know how quickly he gets them done. Or do you typically ask for extensions? Or
Ma'am.
I guess you didn't do it last year. Yeah, I guess it really won't matter if he's not going to have it completely done. Yeah, let's do March or April. So do you think you'll have all the documents by that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Tax documents together? And feel free to bring last year's as well. You can bring, anything you have.
All right.
We're going to want the 1099s from last year and this year.
Okay, that's cool.
And make sure I have your email. I will email you after this docket and give you an address you can send them to. Yes, I have an email for you. Do you mind if I say your email here?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
Why don't we wait a moment and get off YouTube?
Okay.
We're almost done. Do you want to do March 25th?
It's fine with me.
Okay, you're all available March 25th? It's not your kids' spring break.
Tuesday.
Miss Benson, you're okay with that?
Yes, that's fine with me as well.
Okay, it'll be on Zoom again.
Okay,
right.
yes, ma'am.
8:30 a.m. Same Zoom code. Okay.